This puppet show, it stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with lies and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.
I know the truth is hard to swallow, just digest it. Suspected something's going on, chosen just neglected, deflected by some breaking news. Are we just accepted, expected just to fall in line and follow their perspective? Don't question their objectives, but I got a lot of questions. How these kids molested, but nobody's been arrested. Read it in the Testament, these children are protected. So I'm fighting all these terrorists, both foreign and domestic.
Hey, it's Steven. I have got an incredible offer just for my audience. You know, with societal changes and evolving safety concerns, there is no time like the present to prioritize home protection. Don't leave your home and loved ones vulnerable. Secure your peace of mind with a cutting-edge home security system. My company, Advanced Home Pros, has partnered with Safe Haven, the nation's #1 ADT authorized dealer. They have agreed to give my audience the deal of a lifetime. My audience will get a free ADT smart home system, which has an $850 value, with new monitoring service. Just mention True Talk with Steve and get an additional $500 equipment voucher on me to customize the system to your home today. Call 888-520-9212 now or go to homesecuritywithsteve.com. That's 888-520-9212 or jump over to homesecuritywithsteve.com. Terms and conditions apply. Hey folks, welcome to True Talk with Steve. Today it's my pleasure to welcome Tom Paladino. And Tom, he's a Scalar Energy Researcher with over 25 years experience developing healing techniques designed to help people all over the world to recover from pathogenic infection and experience true health and wellness. Tom, I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for taking time. This is an interview I've really been looking forward to. How you doing today?
I am well. I am honored to be here. Thank you, Steve.
Oh, you betcha. Thank you. It's my pleasure. Well, tell us a little bit about your background, kind of maybe just briefly how you grew up, and then, what got you, to focus in this area that I think is so important as we've been kind of reawakening, if you will. Unfortunately, I feel like there's still too many that aren't, but I think a lot of progress has been made. It's becoming pretty clear that we've had so much hidden from us, and the power of scalar energy, frequencies, etc., to heal and natural things are just, it's the way it used to be. And, we've been being poisoned since the early 1900s, as soon as AMA kicked in and the petroleum medicine, if you will. So yeah, tell us a little bit about your background, how you got started.
Yeah, my background, I've always wanted to make a difference in the world. My background really began in this field of scalar science when I started reading about Nikola Tesla, the great scientist Nikola Tesla. Developed scalar light instrument. He was the first man to harness scalar light that I know of by way of instrumentation. I looked at what he was able to achieve and I said to myself, I have to be able to duplicate that in some fashion. And today I'm doing that. I'm working with Tesla Energy, scalar energy. It's not electricity. It's a different type of energy. It's the free energy of the sun, the free energy of the stars. And this offers great prospect to mankind. It offers mankind a new beginning because we'll no longer be shackled by energy that's limited and dangerous.
This is such an exciting time. It's a crazy time, but it is so exciting. And I'm very grateful. And I thank the good Lord every day that I'm awake to what's happening because so much is happening. But, I've researched and read up on some of these things. And, I'm really interested to get some more details because I certainly am no expert. I know enough to maybe have a conversation, but that's the depth of it. But, I was watching something this morning that really was fascinating, and the power of the 3, 6, and 9 and what that really meant. And just, how energy comes from the earth and just the power that's out there and how we've just been lied to, manipulated, and giving our money, being enslaved financially to a scam, basically.
You're right. Electricity is expensive and dangerous. Scalar energy, the other energy, is free and safe. Why aren't we using scalar energy? Well, Tesla tried to introduce it. He called it radiant energy, but you hit the nail on the head. Free energy will change the social order, the economic order, and that's why it's suppressed. The
Yep.
powers that be do not want mankind to have free, safe energy.
Hey, real quick, I got a question for you. So obviously you're speaking about this stuff now and doing podcasts, etc. Were you able to do this 5 years ago without feeling intimidated or running up against problems?
Let's just say 5 years ago, it was poorly understood. Now it's a piece of cake. It's simple now because people are aware of this. The information is getting out there. I've been at this my entire life. 30 years ago was very difficult. They've never heard of scalar energy or 0 point energy. Now it's public knowledge. Now it's mainstream.
Did you have any issues, I guess, for those that have suppressed this and didn't want it to come out? Did you ever feel like you just couldn't freely speak?
I can always speak freely because for the most part, I've been ignored. Because
That's a good it's a good way of what they do it. So there's no credibility. If they do that, then it all signals that you've got something. There's something to it.
Well, to be very blunt, I've always been ignored by the authorities, and that's fine. I don't want to deal with them. They're so corrupt. But I'm saying that this is changing very quickly, very rapidly. The world realizes we need a change. We need a different model. We need a new solution, a new way of doing things. Scalar energy, the free energy of the sun and the stars, is going to solve so many problems.
I'll say. So, like you say, free energy. There's obviously a lot of other benefits, from scalar waves, frequencies, you can tell us for help and curing different things and whatnot. Maybe obviously using the word curing is something you maybe don't want to say. I don't know, but you know what I mean.
I'll get into it.
You can tell some testimonials, I'm sure, plenty of them.
Exactly. Thank you. I work with scalar energy instruments. This is one of the instruments. I'm in my laboratory. And what's peculiar, what's unique about these instruments, they work with information or intelligence. I never work with people. Now, if you will, this is not electricity. When I work with somebody, I work with their photograph, which represents their cell phone or represents, if you will, their bilocated version. In other words, if I place a person's photograph in the instrument, there's an energy field. That's what I access. So I never access the physical person. I access the photograph, which is their energy field, their force field. Now, to use an analogy, we're speaking through a computer. We're sharing information through our energy fields, so to speak. It's a conference call by way of computer. Well, God bless, Steve is not in my laboratory. I'm not in your office. We're sharing an image through our computer. Yep. Well, now with scalar energy, you can share an image through a photograph, a still photograph, and you can send helpful energy into the photograph to eradicate disease conditions.
That is so incredible. And for those that are listening that, are just so skeptical, I get that but if you just pay attention to what Tom just said, how is it that I'm seeing him, he's seeing me? How is it that you can change the dial on a radio and it changes the tunes, etc.? So how is it that we can use these cell phones that, do so much? If you see that, believe that, there's no reason you can't comprehend and understand what you just said. It's, I can't obviously explain how it works, but bottom line, there should be no skepticism if you just use your logic.
Yeah, so when we're working with light energy, we can have a discussion through a video, which is a source of light, or I could use a person's photograph, which is a source of light, and I can have a communication through the photograph. Now, to be very candid about what I'm doing, again, it's not electricity. I can communicate with my photograph or anybody's photograph through another photograph. I'm going to hold up to the camera a photograph of Epstein-Barr. That's a virus.
Yeah.
It's very common. If I have that Epstein-Barr virus, now that's through my energy field. This instrument would look for this exact signal in me. So there's a signature of Epstein-Barr in me. If this instrument would find the signature of Epstein-Barr in me, would bring it to a state of chaos.
Jeez.
We would nullify the Epstein-Barr virus, not through a chemical process, through a higher order of intelligence or energy. Some people might call that a rate, a frequency, call it what you will. We can identify a virus through a photograph and nullify its energy field. This is precisely what I do.
Man, is this get I'm thinking out loud because I'm not even sure, but is this, basically we're talking the quantum field, is this quantum physics, quantum mechanics, whatever. Is that basically how we're operating? And that's the stuff that we just really haven't understood. It's obviously becoming more and more mainstream the last several years, but it's just phenomenal. So I just love, learning about these types of things.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, I'm going to give an analogy. We could have met face to face, vis a vis, and have a physical conversation at a table. We're not doing that. We're having a non-physical communication through a computer. Okay, so if you can do that through a computer, then I can have non-physical communication with a person through their